Welcome. This is a practice to wind down. You can definitely do it any time in the day that you are looking for a little relaxation, calmness. But it might be especially nice to practice it in the evening or right before bed. We will be mostly on the ground, have a block nearby, and maybe you benefit from having some pillows, some blankets for support, for coziness. We will move gently, we will breathe, and we'll end the practice with a guided body scan. So let's start in a seated position, whatever you choose. You could do a cross-legged position, or you could bring your legs underneath you and sit on your heels. See if you can find that lifted spine. Relax your hands on your thighs. Your palms could be facing down or turned up. Allow your elbows to be heavy. And if you're comfortable closing your eyes, do that. Allow your eyelids just to soften. So there might be some light coming in, and that's fine. And begin to move your attention inward. Coming to this practice with that idea of time to calm down, to relax, to soften. So make sure you're not overdoing your breath or even overdoing your posture. This presence, but it's not super intense. You might find that your exhales can be a bit more releasing. And see if you can hear the sound of your breathing. And you could do this with your eyes open or closed, dropping the chin towards your chest. And then guiding the right ear towards the right shoulder. And pausing here, exploring that stretch through the left side of the neck, again without overdoing. And then when you're ready, chin comes back to the chest, and then take it to the other side, left ear towards left shoulder. And again, some release here, that stretch through the right side of your neck. Maybe there's some micro movements, but again, without overdoing. Allowing more the release, the letting go. And then bring the chin back through center. And lift your chin away from your chest. A gentle twist towards the right hand behind you, left hand crossing over. And again, maybe your eyes stay closed, or maybe you're squinting. Maybe you're open. But allow the muscles around your eyes to stay relaxed. And then when you're ready, bring the torso through center and then find a twist towards the left side. And then we'll do one more of each. We'll go towards the right, and you might let the head turn along. Maybe you're looking over your right shoulder. And then back through center, take it over to the left, and maybe here, that left. You're looking over that left shoulder. And again, not forcing, focusing a bit more on the letting go, as we said, maybe the power of your exhales. And then as you inhale, return the torso through center. You could reach your arms overhead, interlace your fingers and bring the hands to the back of the head. As you take your elbows back, let the head rest into your hands. You might turn the gaze up. And then there might be a little sway from side to side here if it feels good. And then we'll take another inhale. And on the exhale, let's bring those elbows forward and let's round forward too. And then on the inhale, we'll open back up, maybe looking up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, we'll round. Your elbows could come towards one another and then towards the floor. And then again, inhale and we'll open. And exhale and we round. And then with your next inhale, coming back through center, if you'd like, your arms can extend, and then a side bend towards the right as you exhale. You can make it deeper, less deep. Maybe there's some movement through your neck. You might look up and down. And as you inhale, come back through center and find that side bend to the left. And same thing here. Emphasizing the release, the letting go. And with your next breath in, come back through center. And on your exhale, let's lower the hands in front of us. We're going to come into a table pose. Your hands under your shoulders, your knees under your hips. And then we're going to just move a little bit from side to side with the hips, left to right. You might begin to add the head. You might look towards your right foot as your hips go left, and then switch. And again, nothing dramatic here, some gentle movement. And if you find that on your hands gets a little bit too strenuous for your wrists, you could try this on your forearms too. It's almost like you're wagging your tailbone from side to side. And then from here, walk your hands a little forward and then shift your hips forward and back. And you could take your sit bones all the way towards your heels and then up, bringing a bit more weight into your hands and then returning back. And if you'd like to take a little bit more spinal movement here, as you inhale, you take into a bit of extension, so kind of like cow. Lifting your gaze, and on your exhale, a bit more rounding, flexion through your spine, more like cat towards child's pose. And then the next time that your sit bones go towards your heels, pause there, come onto your fingertips. And then think about stretching those fingers away from your sit bones. You might walk them forward a bit more. And then walk those hands towards the right side. And find a stretch through the left side body. You might even let your hips move a little bit left. And then return through center, walk your hands towards the left. Same thing here, stretch now for the right side. You might even let your right sit bone drop a bit more towards the right. And then inhale, returning, hands through center, coming back into your table pose, and then lifting your feet and giving your ankles a few rotations in one direction. And then in the other. And then sweep your feet to one side and find a seat, bringing the legs all the way out in front of you, extending them out. Your hands could frame your hips. You could bring them back a bit. You could also sit a little higher onto a folded blanket. Your knees could be bent, and then point your toes towards the ceiling and then rotate through your legs. So think about your toes pointing away from each other, left toes towards the left, right toes towards the right, and then towards one another. And a few more like that. I like to do this with a bit of a bend in my knees. And try it like that. And then bring those feet back through center. And now plant your feet, your knees are bent. Bring them towards the edges of your mat. Bring them wide. And then bring your hands to your shins. And as you inhale, bring your chest forward. Think cow spine. Maybe lifting the gaze. And then on your exhale, round your spine. Extend through your arms. Draw the chin towards your chest. Feel that big stretch through the back body. And as you inhale, do that again. Bring yourself forward. And then take yourself back. And another one like that. Forward. And back. With your next inhale, come back through center. Frame your hips with your hands. Take an inhale. And then drop your knees towards the left and bring your right hand over. Turn any amount towards the space behind you. You could stay here, or you could walk your hands away from you. You could also lower onto your forearms. Allow the head to drop, maybe some movement through the neck, and emphasize again that releasing aspect of your exhale. And then walk your hands back in, lifting through your spine. Bring that right hand over, frame your hips once again, knees up, and then let your knees drop towards the right side. Left hand can come over and turn your torso towards the space behind you. Pause here for a breath. And then again, if it's available, if it feels good, walk your hands away from you, and you might come onto forearms as you let the head be heavy. Maybe some gentle movement through the neck. Breathing here. And then taking your time, returning, walking your hands back in, coming back through center, knees are lifted, and then bring the soles of the feet together and let your knees go wide and away from one another. Your hands could stay where they're at, and you could just let your knees bounce up and down a few times. And then from here, we're going to stack the right knee on top of the left. We're going to look over the right shoulder into a bit of a twist here. And then as you're ready, return that right knee where it came from, and then do the same with the left. Left knee stacks on top of right. You're coming more on your outer right leg, and then you might turn your head towards the left. Breathing here. And then as you inhale, come back through center, knees are wide. You might stay where you are with your hands, or you might transfer your hands to your shins or around your ankles. We'll take a full inhale. And then we'll hinge forward and down over the legs. Some of us might stay with the hands behind us. Some of us might walk the hands forward. And notice that stretch through inner thighs. And then see if you can breathe into that back body, finding space between your shoulder blades, the back of your neck. And with your next inhale, lifting your spine if you were folded, bringing your knees up. And then again, let's find those wide knees, wide feet. So your stance, your feet are towards the edges of your mat. Your hands are going to come around your shins, and then on your inhale, bring yourself forward. And on your exhale, extend through your arms and round. As you inhale again, bring yourself forward. And then see if you can bring the hands to the insides of your feet and your legs. Maybe if you have a block, plant your hands on a block and then walk your hands in the block forward. Your feet stay where they are. Big stretch for the back body. Let go of the head towards the floor, making kind of that cocoon for the front body. And again, encouraging kind of that introspection. Tuning a bit more inward. Beginning to move into more stillness. Letting the world continue outside and staying calm within. When you're ready, begin to lift your spine. And we're going to make our way onto our back body. I'll meet you there, so make your way there however you want. And then once you arrive, draw the knees into your chest. Bring one hand to each knee and find some separate circles as you find that movement through your hips. And as you do this, encourage a little bit more space in the back of your neck. Remember that you can place your head onto a folded blanket or a pillow. And then keep your right knee drawing in towards the chest. Plant your left foot. Here you could stay with your left foot planted on the mat with your knee bent, or you could extend your left leg all the way out onto the ground. Draw your right knee a little bit more towards your right armpit. And take a full breath in and out. And then we'll cross that right leg, that right knee over to the left side. So as you're ready, take that knee over. If you have your block, you might plant it to your left and then let your leg rest on the block. Your chest is facing towards the ceiling. You might choose to extend your right arm out towards the right. You might choose to turn your head to the right side. Keep coming back to exhales. Release towards the ground. And as you're ready, bring that right knee back through center. Give it an extra squeeze. Maybe even lift the forehead towards the knee, as long as that's comfortable and not too much effort. And then when you're ready, plant your right foot, bring your left knee in towards your chest. And keep it there. Maybe you're keeping your right foot planted, or slide that right foot away from you as you extend the leg. Guide your left knee towards the left armpit. Pause there. And take a breath in. Take a breath out. And then we're going to find that twist on this side. So maybe your block comes over to the right. And when you're ready, that left knee is going to cross over towards this right side. As your chest stays facing the ceiling, maybe your left arm extends to the left. Maybe your gaze goes left too. Emphasize that relaxing exhale, grounding, letting go. With your next inhale, come back through center. You might give that left knee a squeeze in, maybe forehead lifts towards the knee. And then release everything. For our body scan, you might choose to lie down. You might choose to extend your legs or keep your knees bent. You might cover yourself up with a blanket. You might place a block or a rolled up blanket under your knees too. Make yourself cozy and as comfortable as possible. And for the next 5 minutes or so, I'll guide you through a body scan. We'll move that attention through different parts of the body and we'll focus on sensation, on noticing what we might feel as we bring attention to our bodies. Start by bringing your awareness to the right foot. And choose any part of your right foot. You might choose your heel, the arch of the foot. You might choose one of your toes. But see if you can let your attention rest there. And notice what comes up. There might be an obvious physical sensation. There might be a subtle one. There might be no obvious sensation, and you might notice that. And then guide your attention up the right leg and start with your ankle, moving up through the shin, your knee, through the thigh, and all the way to your right hip. And as you allow your attention to rest there, once again, open up to noticing any physical sensation from contact with clothing, something else, at skin level or deeper into the tissue. And once again, it's okay if there's no obvious sensation. Notice that too. And now guide your attention up the right side of the body, the waist and the ribs, climbing up towards the chest and the shoulder. Take a moment and pause on that right shoulder, surface in the tissue. There might be physical sensation. There might be some mind work, some thoughts, or a story that comes up when you think about your right shoulder. And now guide your attention down the right arm, through the elbow, the wrist, the palm of the hand, and all the way to the pinky finger. And take a moment there, noticing what might be there. Maybe an urge to move the finger. Maybe sensation of warmth or cold. Maybe something else or none of that. And now move your attention back, up that right arm to the right shoulder and then the right side of the neck. And crossing the right ear and all the way to the top of the head. As you take just a slight pause there, once again, noticing what might be there. And take a breath. And now guide your attention down the center of the face, moving through the space between the eyebrows, the bridge of the nose, the lips, the chin, the throat. And then across to the left side of the body. As you find that left shoulder, bring your awareness to the shoulder blade, focusing a bit more on the back body now. And maybe that left shoulder blade is resting on surface and there's some sensation that's associated with that. Maybe there's something else that you notice, a thought, a dialogue, a story. And now guiding your attention down that left arm, through the upper arm and then the forearm, through the top of the hand, and then all the way to your thumb. And as you bring your attention there, notice. What is it like to pay attention to your thumb? And then we'll move back towards that left shoulder. And then moving down the back body, this left side, left ribs, the left lower back, the back of the left hip. Pausing there for a moment. And once again, maybe sensation associated with contact, maybe other sensation. Maybe there's dialogue in the mind. Maybe there is none of that. Moving down the back of that left leg now, the back of the knee, the calf, the back of your ankle, the heel of the foot. And then through the sole of the foot, arriving at your pinky toe, resting your attention there for a few more moments. Allowing any sensations to arrive to you. No need to seek, find anything specific. And then broaden your attention to all 10 toes. And now slowly and gently begin to include your feet. Begin to include your legs and your hips. Include your torso, your arms, your hands and your fingers. Include the neck and the head. The front, the back body, the side bodies. And then include your breath and notice the movement of your breath happening. And then let the movement of your breath inspire a bit more movement throughout your body. And taking your time to just gently wiggle. You could stay here, lying down, comfortable. If you'd rather come up into a seat, we can end practice together. Your hands could come to your chest. You take this moment here to acknowledge the practice, to acknowledge yourself, to acknowledge those who practice with you, to acknowledge those who make it possible. Ending with a word that means that the light in me recognizes and honors the light in you. Namaste.